Welcome to another heavy equipment video review. Today we're going to review this Mindray BeneFusion VP3 Vet. So this is specifically designed for the veterinary markets as the SP3 Vet, which is the series driver. They both have this handle on top. Well, the SP3, it has it on the side, and so Mindray likes to fit these handles in pumps designed for the veterinary market, which I think is pretty handy. We have this pump that's pretty robust, is rugged, and it's slightly bigger than an Alaris GW, but it does have much more functions, obviously. And so on the back we can see that the port clamp is already fit in this model, and then we can either use this one, which is the normal one that's included with the pump, or we can have an optional one, which is the advanced port clamp. Optional is also the drip sensor, which can be connected through this port. Here we have an RS-232 port which can be used for different purposes, including as a power source if we want to use DC current. If we want to stick with AC current, we have this universal socket for basically for universal power cords. So you can find them everywhere, and if we break one, you can easily replace them with no problems at all. Here we have an LCD screen, which is monochrome. It's not like the VP5, but it's still pretty good. We have all the buttons here, and we have the door here. So let's fit the line in. So it's pretty easy to fit the line in. Perfect. You can just open the roller clamp. That's pretty good. Let's turn on the pump. So now it will perform a system self-test. It will is alarming because obviously there is no AC power. I'm aware of that, so I can just silence that alarm. So we have two alarm lights. One is here, and then obviously it beeps. So that's pretty good. And then here, as you can see, we can select which infusion setter we are using. When I first turned on this pump, obviously it was suggesting as first one a different giving set. Now I'm using an SK giving set, and so the pump remembers which one you used last, and it will suggest it as first option, so that you can pass through this setting pretty quickly. So now it's in the normal rate mode, so we can just select 2 ml per hour with not even putting the volume to be infused, and you can just start. So it's pretty easy. If you want to select a volume to be infused, you just select it, and then you can start, and then that's pretty easy. The infusion, the screen during the infusion is pretty similar to what we find in other pumps of the Mindray line. So we have the infusion rate, and we have this indicator. We change the speed according to the speed of your infusion, and that's I can show you that in a sec. And as you can see, now it's going pretty fast. Here we have the pressure inside the line, and we have the volume to be infused, and the volume infused, obviously, and which kind of giving set we have, and the battery indicator, which is pretty handy to have over there. When we stop the infusion, we can either modify the parameters pressing the clear button, or we can resume the infusion pressing start, which is very similar to what we have on the SP3 Vet, or on the SP5, but that's obviously a color screen, and this one is not. This is just monochrome. So if we go in the menu, we can clear the volume just pressing OK. Here we can select different modes, or rate mode, time mode, body weight mode. So if we want to infuse a drug, or a sequential mode, which is pretty interesting actually. So this is similar to what we find on the SP5, and so we can give, you know, if you want to give a certain volume of infusion at a different rate compared to another one. So we want to give, like, you know, 50 ml in 10 minutes, and then we want to give 500 ml in 1 hour. Then so we can actually do that, and the pump does it by itself. So let's try. So we select OK. So we want to give 1 ml in 10 seconds. So the rate the pump will use is 360 ml per hour, and then we press OK, and we decide whether the pump will beep, switching from this first infusion to the second one. So yes, I want the pump to beep and remind me that actually we're going to a second and different rate of infusion. We can actually use this setting in a different way. So if we want to, maybe, you know, I want to remind myself that after, you know, I'm okay switching from, you know, the first 2 or 3 infusion without having any reminder, but then at a certain point I want to remind myself, oh look, after I infused 600 ml, I want to give this drug, and then or I want to change fluid, or I want to add, you know, another kind of medication. Then, you know, you can select just between, you know, the second and the third, and then obviously it will be just there, and then it will remind you. So we can infuse, you know, 2 ml in, let's do 20 seconds, and then at this time I don't want the sound, which I'm happy with, and so we can just press OK, and it will obviously start. Obviously, you know, now the rate is basically the same. So, but you know, we could have selected. Let's do something a little bit different. So, let's do 1 ml in 10 seconds, and then we want to give 2.3 in 6 seconds. Obviously the rate is much higher, and we don't want the sound there. So if we want to insert, you know, a third sequential infusion, we just press left and it will insert another line. So we want to give, you know, at this point we want to give 0.3 ml, 0.4 ml in 30 seconds. Obviously it will be 48 ml per hour. So and we want a sound here. So we wanted a sound between the first and the second. We don't want a sound between the second and the third, and then we want a sound after the third. So if we wanted, we could insert a fourth, and, you know, put like, well, that's the difficult bit. So you, well, difficult for me now. It's just you need to remind that when you're basically selecting the line, and then you have to select again the 2 mLs, which I think you need to get used to if you use this modality quite a bit. Okay, so we're happy with that, and we want a sound after the fourth as well. So we start, and we start at 360, and then so we didn't get the sound between the second and the third, and it's reminding us how many sequence we still have. Obviously, the volume to be infused that's shown, and the volume infused obviously is the total. So I consider the whole 4 sequences in this case. Obviously, we infuse the whole volume, and then obviously now we are in keep the vein open rate, which is alright. So we acknowledge that that's fine with us, and then let's see what else do we have here. So we have other general options. So we can select which rate we want to keep the vein open. If we want to use a drug library, so to label this pump with depending on the drugs we're using, so we can turn off and on depending if we use this pump to infuse to give drugs with infusion, such as metoclopramide, or if we actually use it just for fluid, so we can just turn it off and on depending on how we use this pump. We have different weight hearing aids. We can select the occlusion pressure, so we have high is 900 millimeters of mercury, 525 if it's medium, and low is under 50. And then we have the unit of pressure. We have millimeters of mercury, kilopascal, bar, psi. We have an auto lock time, so we can select how much time do we want, how long do we want to wait till the pump auto lock itself, and then we have a reminder time, so how long do we want to wait before the pump gives us a reminder that obviously is not infusing, and then how long do so how much time do we want before the infusion finish we want to be reminded. And then the commonly used lines, so we can just select the ones that we actually use. We can select the bubble size, how many bubble we want to accumulate before obviously it alarms, the drip setting. So that's pretty handy. It's very quite a lot of options that a lot of other pumps don't have. We can select the alarm sound, the volume, the brightness of the screen, the system date and time, language, the version information, so the information of the pump, the history record, so whatever we did, so if we change something, or if we what we infused, or if there was a change in the occlusion pressure, whatever we do with the pump, it's recorded, so if we can actually go back and have a look at what happened. And then night mode, we can set time interval, which will allow us to to have a lower brightness, so that we can actually work better with the pump during the night. We have the possibility to have a Wi-Fi module on this pump, which obviously it allows the pump to interface with all the BeneFusion ecosystem. And then we have the system maintenance, which obviously we don't have the code for now, so I can show you that. So I think in the end this is I think this is a very good pump. It has a lot of functions compared to the average infusion pump. I think Mindray did a very good job with this pump. It looks really good. Obviously, I think this is something that you may want to try and have a look if it's good for your environment. And I think this is obviously a very good pump. Obviously, you have all this setting regarding the accumulated bubbles, or the bubble size of the hair bubble size, so you can make it more or less sensible compared to to what's normal, the normal average pump. So I think definitely it's worth giving it a try. I think that's pretty much all for today. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for watching.